Let's talk about fifth wheel hitch maintenance. Now, most brands of fifth wheel hitches, you're going to find that there are four main areas of lubrication to consider. The first will be the fifth wheel hitch head itself. Most manufacturers will provide grease zerks of some kind to lubricate certain points on the hitch head. The second area that you'll want to concentrate on is where the hitch head itself actually sits on the fifth wheel base in this yoke area. The third area will be the jaws themselves, and then the fourth area will be the actual fifth wheel plate itself. Today we're using the B&W Companion fifth wheel hitch as our model. I'm going to go ahead and take the hitch head off to show you where the one zerk is on this particular model. And that's the one that will be first. Now on the Companion, you'll find that the grease zerk is located right here in the center of the pivoting shaft under the fifth wheel head. Now other brands may have this zerk in a different location, or there may even be multiple zerks, so just be sure to find those and hit them all. We're going to use a grease gun with standard automotive chassis type grease. Put that on your grease zerk or your zerks, and just give this a few pumps, maybe one or two. Right there we are at about 1.5, and I'm beginning to see grease emerge out of the ends of the shaft, so that's plenty. Just enough that you see some coming out. As far as your actual maintenance schedule on these, if you're an occasional user where you only use it probably 4 or 5 times a year, you can probably get by with maintenance about every 6 months. However, if you're a daily user or someone that uses your hitch very frequently, you might want to step that up to about once a month. The next point of lubrication will be the point of contact between the fifth wheel head and the fifth wheel base. Now on the Companion, you'll find these two polyurethane bushings on the tops of these towers. You'll want to make sure that these are good and clean before you apply your lubricant. Be sure to use a cleaner that is polyurethane friendly. You can't just use any type of acetone or solvent. It could break these down. And when it comes time to lubricate these bushings, we recommend a premium white lithium spray-on grease. Now if you don't have white lithium grease available, you can use an automotive chassis type lube like we used in the grease gun. You just want to make sure that any types of greases or lubricants you use are polyurethane friendly. Wipe off some of our excess here. Now if your fifth wheel hitch does not have polyurethane bushings and it's metal to metal contact, then feel free to use just a regular chassis grease. Then we'll put our head back into place. Now we're going to lube the jaws of the fifth wheel itself, and you're going to use the same type of automotive chassis grease that you used in the grease gun earlier. You can apply that with the gun itself, or just use your fingers or a rag to apply a nice thin coat to the inside surface of the jaws where the kingpin will be in the jaws there. You can also lubricate the kingpin on the trailer as well. If there's any old grease in here, be sure to wipe it all out before you apply the new. And you get a good thin coat on the inside, tops and bottoms. Now, if you have a cam operated mechanism like on this Companion, it's okay to put your hands in here, but if you have a spring tensioned jaw, do not put your hands in here with that jaw under spring pressure. If that thing was to come loose, you'd have a pretty bad day. A nice thin coat there. Okay, that's ready to go. Now we can lube the actual fifth wheel plate itself. You can take that same type of grease and put a nice thin coat along the entire surface of the horseshoe plate. Now that can get pretty messy and can also be an attractant for dirt and dust if you live on a dirt road perhaps. A great alternative to grease, if you choose to do so, is to use one of these nylon lube plates. Now these are available in different sizes depending on the kingpin box of your trailer. Just snap this onto the kingpin of your trailer, and this will now be the lubricating surface between the plate and the fifth wheel. Now there cannot be any grease on your on the actual pin box or on the horseshoe plate if you decide to use one of these lube plates. It must be dry, and this must be the only thing that's between the two. And that's how you properly maintain your fifth wheel hitch.